Government ministries are laying out their agendas before next week's debate in Parliament. These are called the addenda to the President's address, which was delivered at the opening of the House on Monday. And we have three ministries to tell you about tonight. The first is Environment and Water Resources, which plans to boost Singapore's defences against the potential impact of climate change. It's increasing minimum levels for land reclamation by at least 1 metre.
As a low-lying, densely populated island, Singapore is vulnerable to climate change. Experts say a rise in sea level can result in some coastal erosion and land loss.
Minister is looking into long term. The rise of the sea level, perhaps in 100 years or 200 years later, we want to address it now. And the cheaper way of doing it is to do it when we are doing the land reclamation, because by building up additional 1 metre, and it will take some time to settle down.
The ministry will also develop capabilities in climate science to improve its understanding of future localized climatic conditions. Singapore suffered one of the worst floods in June last year, which led to parts of the country's premier shopping belt submerged. The ministry says it takes a serious view of flooding in Singapore and is conducting an in-depth review of all flood protection measures to be implemented over the next decade. The review will be completed by the end of the year. Separately, the ministry also pledged to raise the standards of public cleanliness and hygiene. The Ministry of Environment and Water Resources says a quality living environment relies on more than The Ministry of Environment and Water Resources says a quality living environment relies on more than tighter standards and cleansing regimes. Ultimately, it's the people who make the city beautiful. So citizens and visitors alike must do their part to reduce littering.
Education is very important. And personally, from our NGO status, we would like to see perhaps a little bit more mandatory issues in forcing or encouraging schools to go through this kind of education programs. And the education programs, I believe, to me, has to be hands-on, place-based.
The smoking ban may also be extended to cover more places to reduce the impact of second-hand smoke on non-smokers.
Quite a lot of my residents actually asking if we can ban smoking in the park, we can ban smoking at the bus stops, because for example, early morning, the bus stop is normally quite packed, quite a lot of people. And they say that, how come we allow people to smoke at the bus stop?
Another area under review, noise standards and guidelines to protect public health and minimize nuisance.
Electronic